Okay, and we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with another live stream. Saturday evening. I was going to say Sunday, but it's Saturday evening, 7:35 p.m. And we're going to have a look at a few stories that have caught my attention today. Some of the comments that have been left also on the channel recently. Some interesting comments there, of course. And we'll also go into the chat section in the second half of today's live stream, or this evening's live stream, and check out what is bubbling away in that chat section. Always lively, let me tell you that, so stick around. And if you've got something to add to the conversation, the chat section is the place for you, or the comment section if you're watching after the video finishes this evening. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is put the like icon on the screen. If you haven't hit it yet, please do so, just below the video. We'll see if we can get up to a decent tally today when it comes to likes. Now, the first piece of news is this one here. And bike lanes have become political in Spain. Who would have believed it? And the Partido Popular and Vox are eliminating bike lanes in several cities. Are they also a matter of ideology, asks El País. The strong political polarization in Spain has reached sustainable mobility. Several cities with the new PP and Vox local government, such as those of Valladolid, Elche, Palma de Mallorca and Gijón, the latter with Foro Asturias, have announced that they are going to eliminate bike lanes after campaigning against some of them. The municipalities argue that they are eliminating them because they are badly made or disturb traffic, while experts point out that the far right has made a banner of the freedom to move around by car. In places like Denmark and the Netherlands, support for cycling is widespread, and even the far right does not propose measures to reduce cycling. But here in Spain, yes. And there's also a group where I live here on the outskirts of Madrid, an anti-bike lane platform that forms part of the right-wing ideology of politics. Of course, left-wing ideology proposes things like bike lanes. Right lane here in Spain, or at least where I live, is against bike lanes, and they campaigned seriously to remove the new bike lanes that were installed maybe around 9 months ago. Can't remember the exact date, but around 9 months ago, I think we got new bike lanes here. I've used them, and it's an experience. I'll tell you that. You often get aggressive drivers pull up beside you and tell you what you have to do. But the fact of the matter is that the bike lanes mean that cyclists have priority, and that is what annoys some people, primarily, as we saw there, on the right side of politics here in Spain. But we'll open it up for debate. Bike lanes, yes, or bike lanes, no. Another piece of news here. Yolanda Díaz, who is running for government here in Spain, proposes a progressive reduction in working hours to 32 hours a week. Yolanda Díaz has proposed reducing the working week to 37.5 hours in 2024 and gradually shortening it to 32 hours. The aim is for workers to be able to get home an hour earlier to rest and sleep, to be with their families, or do whatever they want. For the leader of Sumar, it's a revolutionary measure because time is the most valuable thing for those who do not have large properties or important surnames. There will be people who say that the working day cannot be reduced without reducing salary, that this is impossible, although she pointed out that it has always been reduced as productivity improved. So 32 hours, the work week that Yolanda Díaz, the Sumar candidate for the next general elections, is putting on the table. I think they also put forward the 4-day working week. Don't know whether this is something similar or whether they just want to reduce by 1 hour the time less that you work each day, or whether they want to cut 1 day out of the working week. Don't know, but 32 hours on the table. And wasn't France complaining about this recently, that they wanted to increase the working week up from 32 again? So I don't know what's happening here in Spain, or whether it's feasible, or whether productivity here in Spain is good enough to allow a 32-hour working week. Time will tell. Let us know what you think. Next piece of news, and the final piece of news, a short news day today. This one here. Naps are healthy, scientists say. So why has Spain given up on the siesta? News of a study showing that a short nap during the day may help to protect the brain's health as it ages, has resulted once again in frequent deployment of what is, for Spaniards, the dreaded S word. Although all the recent talk of siestas may come to mind, restful visions of daytime dozes, restful visions of daytime dozes, the very notion of a long nap in most of 21st century Spain is as outdated as it is cliched and irksome. In fact, barring Anglo-Saxon attempts to add chorizo to paella, there are few surer ways to annoy a Spaniard than to suggest the entire nation crawls into bed every day for a 3-hour kip. Far from being an indolent slumber, the siesta of old was a much-needed escape from agricultural work in the punishing heat of the summer afternoon. But as time moved on, Spain's economy diversified, and more people left rural areas for big cities, and practice began to fade out. So there we go, the siesta on the way out here in Spain. People don't consider the siesta to be important anymore. I'm just going to have a drink of water. My throat is tickling. Let me just get a drink. And it's a shame because I, for one, enjoy a siesta on a Saturday or Sunday afternoon. In fact, I recently awoke from my siesta slumber to be here with you now, presenting the Spain news on this Saturday evening. So it may be a little bit too long. That's the question. How long is the perfect siesta? Is it 20 minutes? Is it 30 minutes? Is it an hour? I don't know. I'll put that also out there for debate. First comment of the day. We saw that one the other day. First comment of the day, this one here from PM. Hi Stu, I plan to be in Madrid for 10 days in October. I will gladly spend my vacation money there. If my drop in the bucket contributes to the local economy, that much the better. Yes, the tourism debate, interesting as always, and PM's right. Tourism very important for the Spanish economy. We've seen that the GDP has recovered recently to pre-pandemic levels, a 40-month hiatus there. We've finally recovered. And basically, it's because the tourism sector is back and people like PM there spending their money here in Spain. And that's what tourism is all about, isn't it? Where do you spend your money? Do you spend it at home? Do you spend it in another country? Or do you spend it here in Spain? That is the question. And PM deciding to spend those 10 days in Spain and, of course, spending their money in this country. Another one here from LV. Stuart, let me answer your question. British press and tabloid institutions have for centuries trashed Spain. That's what they do. Think of the Black Legend portraying Spain as a horrible colonial power. I guess the British need to look at themselves in the mirror, maybe. Don't know. This is the point of view of somebody here. Not sure of the nationality of LV, maybe a Spaniard, but saying there that the British press and the British institutions have trashed Spain for centuries. And this, of course, on the back of something that I said yesterday about all of this negative press that comes out of the tabloids. And never have I seen such a negative group of individuals as the British tabloid press with their hate campaign about this country, whether it's the bad weather, the bad beaches, whatever you want. They are rubbishing the country at any opportunity they get, and perhaps that person is right, and it's a tradition to rubbish Spain in the UK, or at least the press, that is. Interesting. Another one here from Helen. Hello, Stu. Since Brexit, it's been an ongoing hate of the EU. We have a useless government. We should all be working together to solve issues like migration. My grandson is studying law in Madrid, half Spanish. As a power wheelchair user, I'm hoping to visit soon by Eurostar. Interesting how the media pursues what it wishes. I'm also part French. I had a French grandmother. Loved my grandson in Madrid. And Helen's summing it up here that Europe is, everybody has some relationship with the continent. Grandson, half Spanish, Helen, half French, and that's what it's all about, I think, for a lot of people, having that freedom of movement that people had before, no longer. And I think that's one of the reasons why the British tabloid press perhaps drives this campaign against Spain, trying to say, whoa, Europe is that nasty thing. Luckily, we got out of it. Another comment here from Iglesia. 21,000 is before taxes, right? Take-home pay is around €1,000 a month with a Christmas and summer bonus. Yeah, I think for a lot of people that's about right. People here in Spain used to complain about the €1,000 de salary, the €1,000 a month salary. Then it became the norm after we had the internal devaluation, where people got poorer without really even noticing it. But that's what happened. And €1,000 now, people in the majority, well, I don't know whether it's the majority, but a lot of people around that type of salary take out your taxes, of course. But you get a summer bonus and you get a Christmas bonus, so you can spend your summer bonus on your summer holidays and you can spend your Christmas bonus on the Christmas lottery. That's the idea. Another one here from DB. It'll be interesting to see what happens in Valencia over the coming years. It has recently been voted one of the best places for expats. Will this continue now with this coalition? I imagine that it will. Valencia became popular with expats even when the PP was running it back in the day. So I don't think there's going to be much of a change. Vox is in that government down there, but I think it's a minority participation in the government. Not sure. I think it is. They've only got a couple of ministries, if you like, a couple of seats in that government. So I don't think they're going to have too much of an influence, maybe on culture, maybe on a few other things as well. And I'm sure various issues are going to flare up over the next few years. But we'll see what happens. But I don't think anything's going to change and take away the fact that Valencia is a very, very popular destination, because the thing that makes Valencia a popular destination are not going to be influenced by a change in government, I don't think. And that's primarily good weather and good lifestyle. So I don't think that there's going to be much of a change. I've got a fly buzzing overhead, obviously coming here because it's too hot outside. And the final comment, I think, is this one here from H. Zazu. Languages are constantly changing and evolving, so it doesn't surprise me to see these things. English itself developed out of the French and German influences of Old Norse and Anglo-Saxon. Not surprising that in the US we are seeing it absorbing elements of Spanish. In fact, one of the things that makes English such a resilient language is its ability to absorb so many outside influences. Absolutely. That is one of the reasons why English is a survivor, because it does adapt according to the times. And we saw this new dialect which has popped up in Miami or some other parts of Florida, where they're basically translating directly from Spanish into English. I think one of the examples we saw was get down from the car, man, get down from the car, whereas we say get out of the car normally. But that could change with this influence, I don't know. And another one is married with, casarse con, here in Spain, con being the preposition, with is the equivalent preposition. But in English, we've always said get married to. I think I got married to somebody, did we? Or marry somebody without a preposition, I think we can say. So all of those things are possible. But the language is changing, and of course, there's going to be a huge influence from Spanish into the United States going forward. It's a question of demographics, and anybody who thinks that that's not going to be the case maybe needs to think again. But pure demographics are going to mean that Spanish is going to have an enormous influence on not only the English language, but the United States in general going forward, I would say. But anyway, that's just my opinion, and you are entitled to comment on it or chat about it if you like. Now, we're going to go into the chat section now. The first thing I'm going to do is change the backdrop. Let me do that here quickly. This one was sent in from Marianne, and it's a picture of the bridge in Bilbao, a place called, I think the neighborhood is called Portugalete, or the city there in Bilbao, on the outskirts of Bilbao, Portugalete. I think that is a nice picture from Marianne. So thank you very much, Marianne, for sending that one through. And if you've got a similar picture that you would like to see on the backdrop, the address is this one here, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Feel free to send it through. Now, into the chat section I go. Let's see what's happening in the chat section. I'll put the like icon on the screen. We'll see if we can get above the 100 mark today for likes. We'll see. Lots of things going on in the world, I'm sure. Lots of people's eyes glued to what's happening. And Hild has pointed this out. I know it's Spain Speaks, but what is happening in Russia is more important at the moment, I think. Probably, Hild, probably more important than what's happening here. But you can do two things at once, can't you? You can watch this and maybe watch what else is going on. And maybe you can come back later and watch this if you like. If you want to watch what's going on in Russia in real time, Hild, feel free. But thanks for your input. Appreciate it. What else? Barbara's coming in from the Playa Flamenca today. Hello, Barbara. Hope you're well. Enjoying things down there. Jay coming in as well, or Jota, I imagine this is, because obviously written in Spanish, so I'm going to say Jota. Me alegra ver tu salud haya mejorado. Saludos desde un muy caliente y húmedo Orlando. Jay coming in. Yeah, my health is a little bit better. I'm not going to say I'm 100%. Still got a bit of a cough every now and again. Still, when I wake up in the morning, still a little bit congested, but I'm okay. It doesn't get in the way of my day-to-day, which is important. I'm not bedridden or anything like that, so I can get out and about. So that's important. But thanks for asking, Jay, or Jota. Bob's also in the chat asking me if I'm being sexist. Why would that be, Bob? What about the Australia-England women's cricket match at Trent Bridge? Equality for all. Absolutely, Bob. Absolutely. Go for your life, my friend. Watching that test match, the women's cricket, the men's cricket, absolutely. Close game again. And I think the Australians got a very slight first innings lead. But we'll see what happens as the one test pans out. Don't accuse me of being sexist. Accuse the Cricket Federation of being sexist. One test. Men, 5. Women, 1. Thank you, Bob. But I have kept my eyes on it. I'm interested. Marianne. Here's hoping you are feeling better today, Stuart. San Diego looks forward to your report on politics. Thanks, Marianne. A little bit better, as I said. Not 100%, but on the way. On the way. Alan coming in from El Puerto. I was wrong the last time. I was drinking Alhambra, not Mao. Yeah, Alhambra is a Granada beer, I think, also down there in Andalusia. Tasty beer, different types. The one that comes in the green bottle, can't remember what it's called, but it's 1924 maybe. One of my favourites too. Janet coming in from Oxford. Not sure what's really happening in Russia. Worrying. Yeah, absolutely right, Janet, but we'll keep an eye on it. Nothing much we can do from here. Just keep an eye on it. Plenty of interesting news lately, right, with the submarine tragedy. And now what's happening in Russia, the news cycle ticking over very, very quickly. And we'll see what certain people have to say about it. We'll see. Mugga's in the chat, coming in from El Campello. Hello, Mugga. Hope you're well. Carrie also in the chat saying hello. Hello, Carrie. Andrew also coming in from southeast London, 30 degrees there, hoping I am well. I am well. I'm just going to have another sip of my water. Excuse me for 1 second. Away we go. And I should be okay to continue. Thanks for asking there, Alan. Hoping I am well. Bit better. Alan's replied to Hild. Yeah, that would be my suggestion as well. Go and watch something else, please. Showman Bailey. Buenas tardes. Bronny coming in from South Wales. Sunny 23 degrees in Swansea this evening. Thanks, Bronny, for that. Thanks for giving us an update on that. Any opinion in what's happening in Russia? Not sure, Andrew, sorry. I'd like to, wait and see as the day progresses what happens there. Only from what I've read in the press so far. Interesting nonetheless. We'll keep an eye on it. But as I said, not much we can do at the moment. We're going to have to wait and see. But could be some big changes going forward. We'll wait. We'll see, as I said. David saying that surely bike lanes are safer for all. I think so. Depends on the driver that doesn't like to adhere to the rules of bike lanes, which is what I normally encounter. I've had some run-ins with at least 2 or 3 people in the last few weeks who have given me their 20 cents worth on the bike lanes, as I have been using the bike lanes. People that think that cars have priority, not the case. But we have to live with cyclists, because remember, in an accident with a car and a cycle, who comes out on top? Don't have to be Einstein to work that out. What else we got going on here? Pauline coming in from a warm Rojales with a glass of whiskey on the terrace today. Good to see you're enjoying it down there in Rojales. Gigi coming in from Monforte de Lemos, loving the sun. I know we need the rain, but walking 8 hours in the drizzle is hard. Yes, sun. Well, no problems in Galicia, Gigi. If you look around, everything's green. They got no problems for water up there. Another story if you're in Extremadura or Andalusia. Another story. But in the north, not a worry. Good to see you are enjoying the Camino de Santiago, Gigi. Jose Antonio's in the chat as well, saying hello. Hello, Jose Antonio. I hope you're well. Dave coming in from a warm and sticky Barcelona. Again, Dave, hope you are enjoying it there. Erica coming in from a muggy Terrassa, 27 degrees Celsius, 55% humidity, bit of a nightmare. Hope everyone is well. Erica, I'm well. I presume other people watching are well too. Carrie saying that bike lanes are a godsend in Chicago. Without them, chaos. Yeah, well, again, it's something new. And until people adapt, there's always going to be people that are a little bit anti-this, anti-that, that don't like change. And, of course, would like to have the motor car dominating our roads. But I think there's room for everybody, to be honest. Whether you're on a bike, whether you're on a scooter, whether you're in a car, I think we can all fit on the roads. Some people might be a little bit inconvenienced at first, of course, but we've got to get used to it. And as we saw there before, there are countries in Europe that do it very well, or at least seem to do it well. And I think that's what Spain has to get its head around, that the car is no longer king, or shouldn't be the only sole thing on our roads. That would be my input on the subject, because I like to ride bikes. I like to ride bikes on the road. Keeps me fit, and it is something that I enjoy doing. And I recommend anybody who wants to look for a good way to exercise, which is not very stressful on the joints, I find cycling to be good. That's just me. Barbara says, when I was in Valencia, there were loads of bike lanes everywhere and they had priority. Absolutely, Barbara, but we'll see what happens in Valencia now that the Partido Popular and Vox are in power in that community. I don't think they can affect the bike lanes at the autonomous community level, but we'll see when it comes to town hall level. We'll see. I reckon it would be a mistake to get rid of them, but again, that's just my opinion. Richard coming in from Yorkshire, North Yorkshire, hoping everyone is well. When Richard goes for breakfast in bars in Spain, many of the local Spanish drinking brandy and other spirits at breakfast time. Yeah, that's right, Richard, sorry. Used to be more common than it is now. Nowadays, you'll see, the odd person drinking a Soli Sombra or a Anís or a brandy in the morning. But when I first came here, it seemed to be more prevalent. But nowadays, I think that, obviously some people do, but not as much as they used to do, I would say. But again, that's just my opinion. And then again, the bars that I go to now for breakfast are not really the type of bar where people that would drink a brandy at 8 o'clock in the morning would come into, if that makes sense. Not sure that it does, but hopefully. Alan has a siesta every day. Absolutely, Alan. Nothing wrong with that. And as we saw there, scientists think that it is a good idea. Jose Antonio also, but only in summer when it's a bit hot, right? A bit of a siesta when it's hot. Turn on the fan or the air conditioning, put your head down, 40 winks, and away you go. Grant, a.k.a. Old Guy Doing Stuff, coming in from Siedo. Feels so hot it feels like Seville. Wow, that's hot for up there in Asturias, which is also part of green Spain. Let's have a look. 20 minutes. Can't see what's going on here. Christine in the chat also. Back in the States for the summer, although the last 2 days in New York have made me had me wearing a sweatshirt and jeans. Wasn't expecting that. Christine, normally in Madrid, I think, back in New York for the summer. Let's have a look. Naps are healthy, says UB. Wine is healthy. And siestas are healthy, especially in the tropics. Of course, the elites don't care about the quality of life for commoners and peasants. Probably not, UB. Probably not. They've got other things to worry about. Next one here, let's have a look. Richard asking whether Jose Antonio likes Larios gin. Larios is the local gin, or at least I think it's from Malaga, I think, Larios. It's one of the most popular low-cost gins here in Spain. You can pick up a bottle for around 10, 11 euros, I think. And as I said, a low-cost gin. Not bad if you are a gin drinker, which I am every now and again. Ed's coming in from Barcelona, hitting the like button. He'll catch up this evening, so thanks for leaving that like. I'll just put it on the screen. If anybody hasn't hit the like icon yet, please do so. Even if it's just to thank Marianne for sending in this fantastic picture of the bridge there in Bilbao. Hit the like button to show your appreciation for a talented photographer. Janet, let's have a look here. Apparently that's rubbish, says Janet. It's not a tradition to rubbish Spain. It's just the press trying to get attention. Sensationalism, says Janet. Probably that's also true, Janet. I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure who the other person was that made that comment, but as we know, everybody's entitled to an opinion. What else? Let's have a look. Seagram's is what Jose Antonio drinks. Seagram's gin. I think that's a US gin. Gin, I should say, not Jim. Tankerai says, Andrew, so we're getting some gins on the table. Keep saying Jim for some reason. Gins on the table. Let's have a look. Christine asking, gin mare from Galicia. Very nice. Very nice. Yes, if you like gin and you don't mind paying over 25 euros a bottle, that's a decent one. That's a decent one, that gin mare from Galicia. I got a bottle recently when I was in Galicia. I picked it up there, straight from the source, and nice. Nice. Let's have a look. Carrie left the longish comment on the last one. I felt I should reconsider this group as being appropriate for me since I'm not in Spain yet. A woman insinuated this group is not for non-Spain expats yet. Well, I don't think there's any criteria to join Carrie, to be honest. I think you don't have to be a person living here in Spain to be able to comment. There's lots of people that are in the UK, or they're in the States, or they're in Canada, or they're in some other part of the world. People sometimes watch from China. Got people in New Zealand. We've got people all over the world that are not living here. So I wouldn't pay any attention to the person that left that comment. That's it. Janet's summed it up. Hit the nail on the head. Anyone who has an interest in Spain, exactly. That's what it's all about. It's not an expat forum. There's plenty of expat forums out there if you want to know how to get your DNI done or your NIE. Plenty of people will tell you how to do that. But this channel's a bit broader, I would say, Carrie. So please, stick around. What else we got going on here? Well, apparently the Wagner group is standing down. It's over. There's nothing left to see. There we go. It was over faster than the 7 o'clock news. What else? Saludos. Alex coming in. I grew up watching my father taking siestas in the Dominican Republic. Siestas are part of the culture. Absolutely, Alex. That's right. In many countries around the world, in fact, in English, we have the word nap, which is take a siesta. It's the same thing. I used to see my grandparents drop off, around 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, have a nap, a bit of a sleep, and that's what they used to do. And myself, sometimes when I was working nights, wake up early, have a bit of a nap, back to it that evening. Let's keep going. David's coming in from Grenada. Loving the food and wine reviews. What's your opinion on the upcoming snap elections? Don't change and stay well. Great fine service with your broadcasts. Yeah, interesting to see what happens, David, considering that it is a difficult date for many, many people. A lot of people wouldn't understand the summer culture here in Spain. The end of July, 15th of July onwards, a lot of people are away on holidays, and it's been a severe inconvenience to have to even think about voting on that date. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens, whether there is a big turnout. But lots of things going on at the moment, lots of promises being made, which I'm sure will never come true. But that's what it is. But we'll see going forward, David. More about the elections. Stay tuned. Jonathan, definitely a siesta today. Too hot to be outside. Absolutely. One of the issues, isn't it? One of the issues. Shangan, Chinese, coming in from China. Not Chinese, but coming in from China, from Shanghai. Recently moved from Ballarat. Good to see you in the chat. Maybe the time has changed, right? You don't have that Victorian time difference that we used to have. Probably a difference between Shanghai and Spain. Not sure what it is, but probably less hours, I would say, or fewer hours, or whatever the correct way of saying that is. Charlotte coming in here now from La Scala, catching up on a rest after the early morning fireworks. San Juan, absolutely. Lots of people out on the beaches around doing the fireworks. Marcus, have a cold one. Thank you very much, Marcus, for that. I will do. Appreciate it, the super chat. And I'll just put the thank you support button on the chat. So the super thanks, people that have bought me a coffee, super chat here. Greatly appreciated. And also the longer term supporters on Patreon. Thank you very much for that support. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated, as it is a way to keep the channel active, because if I had to survive on YouTube revenue, that would be impossible. So thank you very much for the support, Marcus. Mike and Mimi coming in from Oregon. Gorgeous day there. Pacific Northwest, sunny with high of 27 Celsius. We'll be in Madrid for 6 days on July the 18th. We appreciate the channel. Thanks, Mike, for that. Glad you enjoy the channel and appreciate it. Nice and hot in central France, according to Vinny. Coming down to Salau to cook our skins next week. Hope that goes well. Your trip down to Catalonia. Thanks for that comment too. Let's have a look here. Q. What's this? Qless. I watch from the Canaries. Thank you very much for that. Hope you're well. Let's see if I can get here. Viva la siesta. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? The siesta. I've never had a problem with it, to be honest. I've always enjoyed it. Jay coming in from Canet de Berenguer, Valencia, enjoying the beach life. Absolutely, Jay. Fantastic beach life in that part of the country. Great weather. And a bit of a heat wave at the moment, so hopefully not too hot. But if you're on the beach enjoying the sea water, you've probably got a nice sea breeze blowing there as well, so enjoying the Valencian community. Pauline saying that Dad always said he was off to inspect the inside of his eyelids. There we go. That's what a lot of people did and still do, of course, after lunch on a Saturday or Sunday. Absolutely. Take a kip, take a nap, have a siesta, whatever you want to call it. Now, I'm at the end of the chat section, so I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for watching again today. Thank you very much for participating in the chat, even if there were more important things out there today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'll see you all again on Monday, which will be the next live stream, 7:35 p.m. Hope to see you there. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of the weekend. Hasta luego. What? We got one more comment? Jin Mari. Yes, absolutely. Hasta entonces. Hasta luego. Adiós.